What's up, guys? It's Alex at Tailwater Fly Shop. This is the product that I am most excited about that is new for 2023, and this is the all-new Sage R8 Salt. All right, so why is this the product that I'm most excited about for 2023? Well, it's because I went out and I actually casted it. And I must say, as somebody that has not historically been a fan of Sage products, the R8 Salt, it might be the nicest feeling 8-weight rod that I have ever thrown. The biggest reason that this is probably my favorite rod that I've thrown in a very long time is because of the recovery to it. And we'll talk about the technology and we'll talk about what Sage has done, but this rod has all the feel that you want, okay? Has all the feel of the R8. It loads at short distance. It throws a bonefish line really well. It throws a redfish line really well, but here's what this rod does extremely well. It recovers as fast as any rod I have thrown without being overly fast. So what do I mean by that? Well, some rods, when you cast and you're done with your cast, you get that tip that kind of just shakes a little bit. This one, it gets, like I said, it has all the feel that you want, but when you cast it, it is as stable as it gets. And what is that going to help you with? It's going to help you with your accuracy, and it's going to help you with your consistency of your cast. With this rod, you can put a fly exactly where you want to. And if you do miss your shot, it's not because it's the rod's fault. Okay, this rod is very stable and extremely accurate. So let's walk through it. Starting down with the reel seat, one of the biggest changes that I'm excited for, okay? In the Salt HD, which was the predecessor to this rod, they had that ugly mushroom head fighting butt, okay, in my opinion. Sage has gone to more of a classic shaped fighting butt. It's a little bit oversized. This is an 8-weight. This is a little bit big, but I'm good with that, okay? I'm okay with that. I'm a fan of a little bit larger fighting butts, but it's not super long on this rod, which is another thing that I like. Okay, full anodized aluminum double up and locking reel seat, exactly kind of what you'd expect. But I really do like the ring on this. It's not just a round ring. It has some cutouts in it that's going to fit a reel seat nicely. And it also has the number of the weight of the rod on this. So this is an 8-weight. This rod's available in 6 through 12 weights, a 12-weight with a fighting grip, and a 15-weight, okay? All of these are 9-foot, 4-piece rods besides the 15-weight, and the 15-weight is going to be an 8'6", 4-piece rod, and an absolute telephone pole, okay? I haven't gotten to throw the 15-weight yet, but maybe we'll do a 15-weight shootout at some point. I don't know, because there's it'd be a Sage versus Sage right now, because that's the only ones that we got. But it has a really nice deep blue blank. And when we talk about recovery, okay, one of the things that Sage says about this rod is that per weight of the rod, okay, so an 8-weight to another 8-weight, it is this material is 25% stronger, okay, than other 8-weight rods without adding any sort of speed. So even though the material is stronger, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's stiffer. And that's going to help the rod feel nice and help the connections and the ferrules feel good. And the rod just feels really solid. I will say I catch myself throughout the day. If it's a little bit slow at the shop, I do like to string this rod up and go outside and just throw it, because it is that much fun and that enjoyable to cast. Moving up to the stripping guides, okay? They have put a saltwater specific, a saltwater focused guide set on this, and these are the Fuji K guides. And if you notice, no, this isn't bent because I pulled it out of the gunnel of the boat, wrong. These are the upward facing guides, and what that does is it's supposed to eliminate some friction on your fly line, so that the line goes out of the rod smoother. and the two guides right here show this. It has full chrome snake guides on it. Again, saltwater specific, corrosion resistant, full grade A Sage cork, all the Sage components that you want. But I will tell you this, where the R8 maybe falls short on the saltwater side because it doesn't recover super fast or because you got to wait on it, and the igniter is just like doesn't bend, like you have to like double overline the igniter to feel it load. This rod is really, this is not a video that is this rod worth the money, okay? This rod is over $1,000. This is an $1,100 fly rod, okay? I'm not telling you that this rod is worth $1,100. That's not what this video is. What I'm here to tell you is this rod casts as nice as any rod that I have thrown this entire year, and maybe as nice as any 4-piece rod I have ever thrown in the 8-weight size. And that's not, I'm not talking about the price. I don't care about the price. I didn't know the price when I threw it, and I really like it. And so it's not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to sell you an $1,100 rod. All I'm saying is it is different, and it does check every box that you'd want in a saltwater 8-weight rod. There are very few rods on the market that throw a bonefish taper as well as they throw a redfish taper, or can throw small flies a great distance, but also would be the rod that you choose to throw big flies at a short distance. And this rod would probably be the one right now that if I had to just pick one rod to fish across all 8-weight scenarios, this rod might get the NRX out of my hand. It really might, and that's, if you saw my NRX video, that's saying quite a bit. So I'm really excited about this new Sage product. I really think Sage has hit it out of the park with this one, and this is going to take the place of the Salt HD as their new flagship saltwater product. And I don't know if there's much else I can say about this rod besides just come in and cast it, or go to your local Sage dealer and cast it, because I'm telling you, you still might not spend $1,100 on it, and that's okay. You don't need to spend $1,100 on it. But what I'm saying is just throw it, and I think that you'll recognize that there is definitely a difference in this rod as opposed to a lot of other rods on the market and a lot of other rods that Sage has made in the past. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go fish this rod, and we're going to go see how it performs out in the wild, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to meet you guys out on the skiff, and we're going to see if we can't put a redfish or a snook in the boat.
So the very first thing that I noticed as I'm just doing a few false casts is just the feel that you have with this rod. You know exactly where the fly line, where the fly is at all times, just because this rod does have tremendous feel, okay? Typical Sage. The rod to me looks skinnier than the weight that it's called for, but what I think that does really well is it does provide a really nice, I don't know if it's an illusion of feel or not, but it really has more feel than almost any other rod I've thrown, but the recovery on it is ridiculous. So if I did have to power this, I'm not worried about losing my cast, about losing my loop, because the rod, shakes so much before it comes back to stiff. This rod really does recover super fast. All right, so let's talk about line pickup. So I got about 20-25 feet of line out right now, a weighted redfish fly, and 2 false casts. I can be right back out there 60 feet, no problem. And you guys saw how easy that was. I will give a lot of credit to this rod. It truly does everything that you want a fly rod to do. And I'm not sure I've been this excited to fish and cast a rod maybe ever in the saltwater, in the 8-weight game. It truly is just a spectacular rod. And as somebody that hasn't historically been a huge fan of Sage products and Sage rods, that's saying a lot, just because I really, I went into this skeptical when we first got our hands on this, but I must say that actually casting and actual performance is definitely outweighing any preconceived notions I had. All right, so as you guys can tell, I really like this rod, okay? But there's a negative to it. And the negative is going to be price point, all right? This rod is over $1,000. And I know that some of you think there's no rod that's worth that. I'm not even saying any rod's worth that, okay? All I'm saying is that this rod does perform and do everything that you asked it to, but is it worth $1,000? I guess that's a question you're gonna have to ask yourself and something I can't really answer for you. But all I can say is that I'm not disappointed with how it performs, but it is going to, you know, not be in as many people's hands as it could be because of the price of the rod. So $1,000+ rod, I know it's a hard sell. And I know it's even a hard buy, but I mean, if you are gonna charge $1,000 for a rod, at least it feels like this. So come cast the rod, let us know what you think. Get a group of 2 or 3 of you together and you guys can split the price and you can borrow it when you can each use it, I don't know. But you know, at least come throw the rod. We're gonna have them at the shop, and you know, we'll line them up and have you guys throw them and see what you think. Also, as you guys can see, we're getting so famous now that we were even able to get the Goodyear blimp here for the closing shot. So.